Good, y'all. I don't really know the best way to start this video rather than just saying, I want to talk about a little bit of personal stuff that I normally wouldn't talk about on the internet, on YouTube. But I just feel like me putting it out into the physical realm would be beneficial to me. Look at it from retrospect. And I've been on personal development for a while now. And if you haven't watched me or any of my other videos, I'm living with my parents right now. 20 years old, college dropout, trying to pursue entrepreneurship. And not trying to, I am pursuing entrepreneurship, jobless, and I'm doing anything that I fucking can to make this business model that I have work, to make this coaching that I have work. And the family dynamic that I have here at home is just shifting. Recently, it's been my relationship with my parents has been just been crumbling. Just feels really off. We go around the house just not talking to each other at all. I even feel weird a little bit right now filming this video at my parents' place because it feels like I'm somewhat in a way talking shit behind their back. But I just hope to get some clarity off getting this off my chest and sharing this with y'all and trying to be vulnerable with this. So what I mean by the family dynamic is shifting is all my life, I used to be chubby, bro, and I still I don't have the most shredded physique right now, but I've lost over 30 pounds of fat. I was 200 pounds overweight when I was back in college a year ago, and I lost those 30 pounds. In that time, I learned what it meant to actually diet. I learned what it meant to actually train in the gym. Again, I'm not fully developed right now. I've never been a jacked physique in my life. I've never been able to see my six pack in my life. So I always blamed on bad genetics, and I didn't understand that my nutrition played such an important role on it. And honestly, I wasn't really the type to always eat fast food 24/7, especially when I was growing up. I ate a lot of home cooked meals, a lot. And I was so blessed to be able to have a family that would put dinner on the table for me damn near every night. And that's such a blessing in itself, but I was never taught the right nutrition. And unfortunately, as I see it from retrospect, I grew up eating the foods that led me to the physique that I got, which was chubby, which was skinny fat. And that's because my diet never had enough protein. My diet was always full of carbs. My diet was full of unhealthy fats. And I was just uneducated as a kid. And I'm realizing right now, how much the environment you grow up in matters towards where you are as a man, as a person in the future. And I'm not, it's hard to say, I can't blame my parents because they obviously weren't educated about that as well. And again, I'm so grateful that they put dinner on my table every night. And so grateful I had a roof to stay under the past 16 years of my life, staying here in Virginia where I'm at right now. But the more I'm realizing the right foods to eat, the more my body is transforming and I'm starting to see the truth towards the right nutrition. On a day-to-day basis, I see my parents every single day in the morning when I make my dinner at night. And I'm eating the good foods now. I'm eating whole foods, avoiding highly processed foods, shifting away from my typical diet that I had in the past, where they see me grow up for the past 20 years eating, which was pasta dinners, which was cereal and bagel for breakfast. And I started eating eggs. I started eating avocado, started eating more protein in my diet and actually trying to maintain the muscle that I had in my body and grow more. And them seeing that in me, I believe that they just don't understand. Cause let me tell you something that kind of sucks. And I was having this conversation with my girl the other day, and it fucking sucks. When I was chubby, I was a chubby kid, 14, 13 years old, chubby, right? I always used to tug on my shirt. And if you're chubby, if you were chubby in the past, fat kid. You know what I'm talking about. When you start feeling insecure, you start pulling your shirt a little bit. I felt insecure, so I pulled on my shirt. And I remember getting ice cream vividly. I remember getting ice cream with my family one night. Like I was eating my ice cream, we were walking around as a family, and I started pulling on my shirt. And I remember like my sister and my dad, they used to like make fun of me, started tugging on the shirts too, making fun of what I was doing, my insecurities. And that's when I first realized I had insecurities about how I looked as like physically. My family was the only people that I loved and I could actually come for support. And seeing them poking my insecurities, like at that time, I had no idea what manhood was. I had no idea what taking a joke was. So like I was a vulnerable kid. Like my mom was the only one who really sided with me emotionally. So like I gravitated towards her. Like my sister and my dad like formed a tight relationship. My mom and I formed a tight relationship as well. And they used to make fun of me for my insecurities of being chubby. And now that I got a decent physique, put some muscle on, I dropped 30 pounds, 170 pounds, a lot leaner. I get made fun of for the food I eat now. Like I won't lie, the food I eat is kind of extreme because I really stick to my diet, and I'm very serious about that. Like for months, just tracking every single solitary thing I put in my body. Like literally everything I put in my body, I was tracking like even empty calories at one point, like Diet Cokes. You don't need to track that. There's no calories, there's no macros in that. But I still did it. And I guess them seeing me get that intense with my nutrition, like it seemed out of the ordinary for them. So when I eat my eggs and avocado for breakfast, they're kind of like, "Oh, you're eating that meal again?" Like they're poking fun of me with the eggs and shit. They're making their bagels for breakfast. When I eat my steak and eggs for dinner, which I've been doing damn near every night for the past couple weeks, honestly, and it's such a great meal because it's whole foods and I've done it over and over and over again. To the point where I'm making like 20 minutes, right? So it's a very simple, good dinner for me. And they're like, "Oh, we're gonna try your food tonight." And they eat like a steak with hella pasta. And I don't know, bro. Like they're taking pictures of my food and shit and sending it out to my family, and they're all making fun of me and shit. Like, look what Ferris is eating. Look at his. I eat on a wooden board. I can't lie, that part's extreme. Like taking pictures of my food and like sending it out to my family, and like they don't really understand what I'm doing either. It sucks. It sucks. Cause when I was fat and insecure, I was getting made fun as well, and it feels like I'm in the same exact position years down the line because when I was younger, I was insecure about how chubby I was, right? And now, because I've dropped weight, I put on muscle, and I'm sticking so tight to my diet, to my nutrition, to my way of living, waking up at 4:15 every single solitary day, doing these extreme habits that I know seems weird to the average person, but it doesn't seem weird to me because I know where I want to go in the future. And no average person's gonna understand that. They're not gonna understand what it's gonna take to get to the places I want to. But I know if I keep putting in enough inputs to making failure impossible, I'm gonna get there. There's no way I don't. So that's why I do what I do on a daily basis. It's a spider on my phone. Hold on. But that's why I do on a daily basis. That's why my diet matters so much, is because even though me getting more shredded, me getting more lean doesn't directly make me money, this is the vessel that carries me out throughout my day. I have to reinvest back into my greatest asset, which is myself. That's why it matters so much to me what I'm doing right now. That's why I care about my nutrition so much. And going through our personal development, I've lost a lot of friends. I spend most nights to myself. Recently, I've been spending my nights literally every single night, staying up till 10, 11, 12 in the morning, door dashing, time by myself, listening to podcasts, reinvesting back to myself. And I've lost a lot of friends. I don't get too much social exposure anymore. And when I hit a trip to Miami for a social event, mastermind event. Not having social exposure for the past couple months really showed off in that experience because I struggle fitting in, to be honest. Like, I make my daily work, what I do on a daily basis is talking to the camera, putting out content on Instagram, on YouTube. And I practice my speech, I practice my communication skills, but it's a little bit different from social skills. And when I hit a trip to Miami for a social event, I realized like I haven't been social for the past couple months, and it really reflected. So I haven't had much social exposure the past couple months that's really showing off. And now that I'm talking this out, and the whole reason why I wanted to film this video is because I wanted to look at it from retrospect and see my insights. Because the man I was, the kid I was, 13, 14 years old, chubby, insecure about his weight, alone, not much friends except family to rely on for emotional support. It's the same man to an extent that I am feeling today. Because I, I I don't know if I have like insecurities about that anymore. Maybe insecurities about falling back into complacency, meaning that I don't want to be chubby again. Complacency means settling for less. That's my definition. And I just feel like I'm in the same situation again, and it sucks because my only emotional support, the only people that I see on a daily basis is my family, and feels like I can't even lean on them for support because they don't really understand me anymore. They don't. Feels like they don't really. Like, I'm telling you, bro, when I make my steaks, the healthy meals that I make, feeling the best I've ever felt in my life. Like, this lifestyle feels amazing. Sitting out here in the sun, being able to take off my shirt when it feels nice and not feeling insecure about it. This feels amazing. But I get judged for it. I get judged for the food I eat. But I guess the learning lesson that I want you, if you watch up to this point in this video, to take away from sitting here and listening to me talk about my family dynamics shifting, I guess the learning lesson I want you to take away is like, no matter what point you get in your life, no matter what changes that you thought to be the worst possible situation, your insecurities that you changed to make those that you care about and you love, think better of you, those problems are still going to be there in a different form. Like, even though you're not going to feel insecure about how you look anymore, if you make that change to get on a better lifestyle, get a physique, eat cleaner, be in the gym more, pursue entrepreneurship, be judged, you're still gonna get judged. Problems are still gonna rise, and I have to find a way to navigate through that. I have to. And my mindset on a daily basis is like, God is testing me how much I can endure this lifestyle because I have big dreams for the future. I have big desires. I have places I want to be in life. And like, obviously, I have to do the extreme to get there. That's why I wake up at 4:15 every single solitary day. That's why I get damn near like 3 to 4 hours of sleep every night because I have things I need to do. Things need to get done. And my point is, I feel like God is testing me to see how much I can truly endure to get this path ahead. Because let me just tell you right now, in entrepreneurship, things are not going to go as you expect at all. You're going to have problems. And even in life, you can take this, even if you're not an entrepreneur, you can understand this analogy. Even in life, like problems you thought, hold on, your biggest problems that you thought you had, and once you solve them, you think everything's going to be better, right? Like, for example, I'm in my parents' house right now, and I thought everything would be better once I have my own place. It wasn't. I thought everything would be better and all my problems would be gone if I was in a spot in Miami, if I had the nice apartment. I went for a weekend in Miami to the tallest building on Miami. I stayed at one of my boys' places, 45th floor in Miami. I thought like this is a apartment I desire. Like, skyline view there was something like it was a surreal experience. And like the first time I stepped out on that balcony, saw a skyline, taking a video, like my hand was literally shaking because it was so surreal to me. Like seeing that skyline. My point is like that lifestyle I desired, that apartment, that view I desired. Yet when I went to sleep that night in that apartment, I was still cold. I still felt uncomfortable. It was a little bit cold and chilly for me at night. Problems are still gonna be there with you, no matter where you go in your life, no matter what problem you thought you had and you solved, there's still gonna be more problems that arise in the future. It is your job to see if you can endure the pain, endure the uncomfort of that position, of that problem you have, and go past it. How long can you last? How many days can you endure feeling insecure, feeling uncomfortable in your living environment? How bad do you truly want it? The lifestyle you imagine, let me just tell you right now, after again spending a weekend in Miami, this lifestyle you see online with all the fancy cars, the $1,000 dinners, skyline views, it's not a figment of your imagination, saying that it's not unreasonable. It's a very realistic thing. And two reasons why that lifestyle is possible is one, commitment, and two, consistency. And as long as you have both of those things, no matter what problem arises in your life, as long as you put consistency and commitment first, you will get there. You will get to those next heights. And I desire a lifestyle that isn't what this is. You know, I'm again blessed to have a roof over my head every night when I sleep, blessed to have a beating heart in my chest when I wake up, but I want so much more in this life. And I'm being tested right now. And honestly, I don't know how much you're taking away as this from this video as the viewer, but me right now talking this out, I got what I wanted by talking this out. I got clarity. I got reasoning. I know my next steps ahead is just finding out how many days can I endure this and persevere through this discomfort. Because there's always going to be problems wherever you go. And I can't expect once I get to the next level, because I know I'm going to get to the next level, whether that's an apartment in Miami next, apartment somewhere else, at least a place I can call my own. There's going to be problems there. Everything's not going to be perfect. And you as well, if you have problems in your life, like once you solve them, there's instantly going to be something else that pops up you're going to be uncomfortable with. You're always going to get tested. And unless you're willing to settle for a mediocre lifestyle and just suffer for the rest of eternity, there, if you're willing to suffer for the rest of eternity, you got to learn how to navigate those problems. I got a lot off my chest in this video. I'm really glad I made this video. If you're new to my channel, this is your first time hearing me, my name is Ferris. I do something called Gumption Talks, where I kind of just talk my mind for a little bit, talk about learning lessons, experiences, insights, just like I did today with y'all. And I would really appreciate if you join me on this journey. Subscribe to my channel, check out the rest of my content, and check out my Instagram below in this video, where I post my daily life, my 4:15 a.m. wake up, where I do my push-ups right here. If y'all curious where I do my push-ups, I do it literally right there. But I appreciate you watching this far up into this video, and I'll speak to y'all later. Peace.